Hey, welcome back to the channel. The Yukon's been running a little weird. Narrowed it down to a bad injector, so I'm gonna replace that today. Now, I've had this throttle body apart before. It started leaking from the fuel pressure regulator, and I should have changed the injectors at the time, but it was running good, so I didn't. They have like a weird spray pattern. Well, they have 170,000 miles on them, so that's probably why. You just remove the vacuum like this for the PCV. We just move that out of the way. You might not have one that looks like this. You might have the solid one that turns, but either way, you just take off the vacuum from here. It's pretty simple to do. Take off a couple of vacuum lines here, a couple of connectors on the side, and the fuel lines on the back. So I'm gonna get started and then I'll show you what the steps are. So I got it out, wasn't too hard. The big fuel nut on the throttle body, the fuel inlet nut, was a 3/4. The nuts on the fuel line themselves, I got them off with a 5/8. I cleaned this mating surface for the so that the new gasket doesn't have all kinds of stuff there when it's trying to seal. One thing you want to be aware of is there's these O-rings on the fuel lines here. This one doesn't have it because it got stuck in the throttle body and it actually ripped. So I don't know if you can see, there's little pieces of rubber on here, but I'll clean that up. And then there's one more vacuum line in the back. It's this guy here, connected to the map sensor. So we'll do the rest of this in the garage because it's cold out here, but just thought I'd show you guys that. Oh, and also this, the cruise control cable, if you open the blades and you turn this and just pull it, it'll come off. The throttle cable itself has a little clip, so don't lose that. This is a little clip here. You just kind of lift this tab and slide it out of the way, and it comes off. Yours might not look like this because this is a Vortec engine with a carbureted intake, with an adapter and a spacer for the throttle body. It works really well, and it was really cheap. I think the intake was maybe 190 bucks. The adapter, I think, was like 45 bucks. And to extend these fuel lines, I just cut them. Just put a piece of hose, 2 clamps on each side, like here and there, and it doesn't leak. So let's go inside and change the injectors on that throttle body. So to take this apart is pretty simple. You gotta start by taking off the fuel inlet and the fuel outlet. There's these little plastic O-rings under there. I'm gonna replace them because they come in the kit. You gotta take off this, and then to get the injector pod off, it's just 3 bolts. There's one here, and one here. On mine, it's a 5/32 Allen. I'm gonna use this here, and then to tear apart the injector pod and the fuel pressure regulator, it's a T20. All this other stuff you don't have to take off. You just need to get the injector pod off, which is this piece here. To do that, you need to take off these 2 first. Mine is gonna be a little bit different because the air horns are shaved off, and also mine has this spacer there. Yours probably won't have that. You can see there. So I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna do this on time lapse because it's kind of hard to be doing this and filming, so that's why I'm explaining what I'm doing now. The injectors that I'm gonna use are AC Delcos. There's a part number there, and I'll put a link in the description so you can find it easier. I'll also put a link in the description for the gasket kit, because these this is the injector here, and these come with some seals but not all. Doesn't come with the actual throttle body one, and then the big one for the injector pod. So I'm gonna get to work, and come back in a bit. Alright, so I got it all apart. I cleaned some of these mating surfaces as I went. Now that I think back on it, it's kind of weird because I never work in that order, but to get these injectors out, in case they're stuck, well, they might be stuck because of the O-rings that seals them in place. I just got the soft part of the screwdriver. The injector kind of sticks out a little bit from down here, and just push on the soft part of the screwdriver, and then the injector will pop out. Once it goes over this groove here, it's kind of loose. That's where it seals from there, and then it also seals from the bottom. You can see it has that O-ring in the bottom. Like I said, I've had this apart before because I had this fuel pressure regulator that was leaking. It's pretty dry right now, so I'm not gonna take this apart. But if you were, it's just these 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It pops up, and it's kind of like doing like an accelerator pump on a carburetor. There's that diaphragm in the bottom with the metal plate, and then there's a spring, and then there's this housing. And when the diaphragm goes bad, it leaks out of this hole. Also, like the aftermarket those fuel pressure regulators that bump up fuel, and they have like that screw that makes it adjustable. This is where the screw goes, and then this is where you drill. So I'm gonna get the new injectors, put the O-rings on the same way you see the way when you took it off, same orientation, and then just push them in and reverse the procedure. It's very straightforward, very simple. Remember that these here have this plastic gasket on there, and also the O-ring in there that's from the fuel line itself. That needs to be addressed, or you will have leaks. The injector kit does not come with those plastic O-rings and the seals, so that I'm gonna have to get from the other kit. But for now, I'll put this back together, and then I'll come back when I get to that part. Just wanted to show you guys there is a difference in the injectors. They may have been changed in the past, I don't know. I thought they were original, but no, they're different. But these are the AC Delco ones, so just thought I'd point that out. So these are the little plastic O-rings. That you need, and the rubber one is for the line. I'm gonna put this up there, and there's two of them. Alright, these are the ones that I took off. From on this one, that one was from that one. The rubber from this side stayed on the line, so I'll take that off when I put it back in. And I've lost these before, so be careful. That's it. Just put it on there. Put a little dab of engine oil. And then reinstall it. Also, if you're installing the fuel injectors, put engine oil on the O-rings, the bottom one and the top one, so that it slides in the bore and makes it easier to seal without ripping the O-ring. So we'll do this for both sides and we're done. Then we'll continue out in the truck. This is the fuel pressure regulator that I was saying. Looks just like an accelerator pump, and then you reuse the spring Some of these gaskets you won't use, like these single injector gaskets, I think are for like the little 4-bangers or some of the small V6s or whatever. But other than that, you know, you're gonna end up with a bunch of extra gaskets. This here is a spacer that I'm not gonna use. I'm gonna use the one that I got from Transdapt, and it says it doesn't need a gasket. I had just added that last time just to see how it ran, and well, the spray pattern doesn't really reach all the way to the bottom. It kind of gets the walls because it's too tall, so I'm not going to reuse it. And here's a spoiler. That cam crank, these main caps, that valve train over there is for this 454 that I'll be building on the channel soon for my 68 C20. All right, got it in. Had some trouble with the fuel line on that side, but other than that, it's in there. Sorry about the lighting. So I'm ready for the first start. Or actually, I'm gonna let the fuel system prime till fuel pump stops. It stopped, so I'm gonna do it again. Check for leaks. Cool, I don't see any leaks. All right, it's starting to snow. I'm gonna get this done. All right, fired right up. Good. I don't see any leaks. I'm gonna put it back together. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. Just with the way it's idling and with the way those spray patterns look, I can already tell it's gonna be a lot better. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.